Ras, can you?
Yeah, Shahid, please tell me.
Yeah, I am trying to log in from my tablet as well. Can
Okay.
you? Um, okay,
Yeah, you're done.
okay, cool. Um, I'll just. Can you hear me, or is there a echo?
Can you please like mute your tab in a way we can not mute, reduce the volume to zero because we are getting a slight echo.
Okay, okay. Can you hear me now clearly? Ras, can you confirm if you can hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay,
There
great.
shouldn't have been a delay, but then I got caught up. Just a second. My team is entering us.
Okay. So
You can start with the introduction. And give me
yeah,
5 minutes.
okay, great. Sure. I mean, this is the first of the classes of this course. So we will begin with programming shortly from now. But just before that, I think it might be, introducing ourselves might be a better way to start. So I'll start with myself. I think some of you might have already attended the webinar that we did last time. So I am a DM in pulmonary critical care and sleep medicine, and I am currently the Mayo Clinic consultant for artificial intelligence, and that's more or less about me. So we could probably get started with Faraz. How about you? Would you start with yourself?
Oh, I am Faraz. I have founded this Med Exchange. We have four different products. One is Forward AI, which is setting up AI and developing the medical AI workforce so that we can bring in the first gen revolution in AI with medicine. So we have seen Uber, Ola's coming in. Post that, we have seen different startups uh, joining in. So this is what I have been doing. I have extensive experience in Farm Easy. I have extensive experience in developing startups from the scratch, being at Brick and Bolt, wherein we raised $10 million. Post that, I work with Foodiverse India. It's a day zero startup. I've scaled Omnicurus, worked extensively in the healthcare, come with the complete value chain of medicine, including the ministries to the end points of medical council, hospitals, and private institutes, and independent content developers in the space of medicine who have been publishing papers. So that's my experience having worked with AIMS, having worked with CMCs, having worked with ICMRs. So that has given me a pretty much boost in terms of starting something in this medical sphere and to provide that opportunity or a platform to bring in the talented folks to take this forward. So that's me.
Great. Yeah, I guess we could get started with. I can see in alphabetical order. Aisha, can you introduce yourself? Dr. Aisha, you might be on mute.
Atria ventricle as well.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we. Um, Aisha, probably you're not able to hear us, or you might be speaking on the mute, but nevertheless, we can move on to. We see one uh, name called atria ventricle. Probably, maybe you can introduce yourself, doctor. Um, if you're speaking, you might be on mute. Okay, nevertheless, we can move to Dr. Meghna, a brief introduction. If any one of you is speaking, you might be on mute. Faraz, is it just me or can you hear me?
Hello,
Hi. Um,
can you hear
please.
me?
Yeah, yeah. Now we can hear you clearly.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Aisha and I'm pursuing my MD in Obs and Gynae presently. And as I'm interested into this, I couldn't find a better person than Dr. Shahir to get me into this new world of AI. So yeah, looking forward to learn something new today.
Great, great. That's a welcome um, enthusiasm. Great. So let's yeah, we'll get onto it shortly. So I guess your second one is yours only, right? The second ID.
Mine is this one,
Okay. Okay.
the Atria one. The other one, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. We find Aisha Zoha. You're there. Can you introduce yourself?
We can move on from Aisha Zoha. I have
Okay.
invited.
Okay. Cool. Um, I think Dr. Meghna is also finding it difficult to. Dr. Meghna, can you hear us? And if you can, then yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. Dr. Meghna, could you please briefly introduce yourself?
yeah, so myself, Dr. Meghna. I have just recently completed my MBBS and want to pursue pulmonology as my branch. So I want to see whether what are the benefits I can do for finding the lung cancer through artificial intelligence and all.
Okay.
And I hope you are the best to guide me.
Wonderful. I mean, that's a great viewpoint for learning this one. Welcome, Dr. Meghna.
Thank
Uh,
you, sir.
Dr. Rasheen.
Hello, yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I'm Dr. Rashim. I come from Kerala. I did my MBBS and MS in general surgery, both from Kerala. Passed out my MS in 2018. Right now, I'm working in Bahrain as a consultant surgeon here, and that's it. I want to learn about AI. For a long time. I got an opportunity. Let's see how it is going. Okay.
Great. Yeah, great. Welcome, Dr. Rasheen. And I think we have Dr. Smita.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Hi.
I'm Smith. Hi, sir. I am Smita Pawar. I'm currently pursuing my MS first year in general surgery in IGMS Patna. I like to learn new languages and I'm fascinated to learn AI. So I'm looking forward for this course, sir.
Great, great.
Yes, sir.
Welcome all of you on board. So yeah, let's I mean, we'll keep it a little like I want to know where you people are in terms of this thing. So mostly be assured that you don't need more than third standard math to get into the midst of all this. So don't worry about the math part and all that. It's pretty straightforward most of the time. For getting started with AI, basically you'll have to make your computers work for you. So you have to talk to your computer, right? And just like we talk to so many people, we have different languages to in which we address each other, like English, Hindi, Kannada, stuff like that. Same way, to talk to your computer, you have lots of languages. You must have heard of languages called Python. So that's a name of an animal as well as a computer programming language. And there is another language called R, just R. Okay, that's all. So that there is that one. Then C plus plus, C, Java, React, and so many languages are out there. But suffice it to say that Python is probably what English is to us. That is like it's one of the most versatile languages, and it's one of the easiest languages. Python, talking, but not really English. So, Python is it's very easy to learn, and it is very general purpose, as in you can do a lot. You're not restricted to only doing AI or anything. You can do AI, you can do statistics, you can do basically you can go and download data from websites. You can do a lot, basically everything under the sun you can do with Python. And surprisingly, that's the easiest language to learn. So in this course we will go with Python as the language to learn AI. So before we go to core AI, because we have to be able to understand the language, so we have to understand programming. So we have to start with Python language. And once you start mastering this language, then you can pretty much tell the computer to do anything that you want, right? AI is just one part of it. So we will get started. But is there anyone in this who might have had an exposure, or has ever done coding or programming? Anyone? You can just raise your hands, right? I mean, there's an option to raise hands. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, so I know where to start with. So let's directly jump into uh, programming. Okay. So all of you have access to you're all logging in from your laptops, right? Now, do you have laptop handy?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Dr. Meghna, you too? Yeah. So, um, Dr. Meghna, you there? You might be on mute if you're speaking. Um,
Yes,
yeah, you have a laptop, right? Because we'll be
yes,
doing
sir.
this. Okay, great. Okay, so I'll take you guys to programming now. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Like, nobody should say that, we don't know, or we have never, we never played with programming. So from today on, I think nobody should say that. So let's get started with that. So, so programming starts with the environment. Okay. So what happens is, just like the language that is taught to us in school, right? English, they teach us in primary A, B, C, D. Our teachers, our parents, they are responsible to interpret, right? When they say apple is apple, somebody has to tell that to us, right? That it is apple. Like that. So like that, we have got environments in the computer that decodes our language, right? The Python language to the computer language inside in the electronics. So there are various environments that are present with us. I'll take you through the easiest one, right? The easiest one. Probably that is all you need, but advanced users can have like various other environments as you progress into this course. So let's begin with that. So, and I think Faraz, you could probably collect everyone's email IDs. So, if any links and all we can share, they can. I'll share it in the chat here too. But we can also probably email them. So, but nevertheless, I'll get started with emailing now, because what happens is when people join back, like for accidentally they disconnect from this call and join back, those links will not be visible to them. So maybe whenever new person joins, you just like put that link. So I'll just share my screen. So you can all start. I'll wait for some time after and then you can actually try logging in. And if there is any problem, we'll solve it right away. So all of you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So, okay. So let's just do this Google Colab. right? Once you do this, okay, I will put this into the chat link also. So this is what you have to search. First, you see what I do, and then you can do it. Okay. So you will find something like this. Okay. Google Colab. It's a Google environment. You just click on it. Okay. So once you click on it, you will find something like this. I do a lot of this, so there will be some things open, but you can always go and create a new notebook. Okay, like this. You click on this new notebook. It will take a couple of seconds, and then you're here. Okay, untitled. Right now, let's all give it some title. Something like, AI course or something, whatever you feel like. Okay, so I'll give you time for you to do this, and then if somebody's facing any problems, we can solve it. Can you search Google Colab in your browser? Click on the first link that appears. Should be a Google link, and once you go there, you can click on create new notebook or new notebook. And once you're done that, you will find something like untitled there on the title. You can just name it something. So all of you can just comment here whenever you're done. Okay. Okay, I can see that Faraz has got it. There is no hurry, so take your time. Okay. Aisha Zoha has also done it. Okay, cool. Dr. Aisha has also done it. Okay, Dr. Rashim has done it. Great. First, can you probably just inform Dr. Mati on how to, maybe he missed out or something?
I'll inform you.
Okay.
Dr. Smita is remaining.
Okay. Uh, Dr. Smita, you are encountering any problem? We would be able to help you. Dr. Smita, if you're speaking, you might be on mute. Dr. Smita, can you hear
Hello,
us?
sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir,
yeah.
I can hear you. I have
Yeah.
opened the Google Colab, sir. It has
Yeah.
come as welcome to Collaboratory.
Yeah.
Do we start
Yeah.
yes,
Create new notebook. There will be an option there below. New
yes, sir.
notebook. Okay, can you click on that? Did it lead to something like this? If you can see my screen, you will notice a page like this.
So it is coming as new notebook.
Yeah. Click on that new notebook.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And then it will land on a page like this. It will be written as untitled or something. You can just click on it and rename it something.
Yes.
I have renamed this as AI course, but you feel free, or you can just choose the same, whatever.
Mr. Shahir,
Yeah.
I have a suggestion. Like it would be better like if you open two windows at the same time and then uh, put one window in the half of the screen and the other in the other half, so that we can just like copy whatever you are doing.
Okay. Yeah. So is that for us? Is that thing we could implement?
I, I can pin this. You don't have to switch the screen. So you can make them do it as you do it. I guess once they have set it up, now they can do it along with you.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. Sure. I guess so. Dr. Smita, you are done. You can move.
I'm done.
Okay. Great. Cool. Ah. Yeah. So all of you are on this page. Um, maybe you can splits your screen into two, I guess, and you can follow one on this side. I think that would be easier, right? I mean, you can open the notebook into another browser or separate tab and split screen and do it that way.
Can you show them how to split the screen share? Right?
Yeah. So just like this. This is I'm working in Mac, so it'll have some different settings. But I believe it is control right and left arrow in the other one.
In Windows, it is you press the Windows key. There will be a Windows key down, and then right and left arrow.
Yeah, like this maybe, right? So yeah, but nevertheless,
You don't need to have
yeah,
the Google Meet link share. You can just open the collab and full screen it and keep doing it along with it.
yeah. That's all. Okay. So now we are into this. You all can see my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you are into this Google Colab. Okay, so this is where you can type your queries. I mean, you can type your instructions to the computer, and computer will execute it. Okay, so this is the environment in which it happens. Okay, now there is something here you can see in this. Like there are so many tabs here: file, edit, view, runtime, tools. So you don't need to worry too much about these things for now, but you should certainly worry about this thing. Okay, here you can see a thing called connect. Okay, so all of you just click on this connect. I'll wait for after you click on connect, it will say allocating, connecting, and all that. So I'll wait for a few seconds for all of you to do that, and once you are done, just comment there so I know that all of you have done it. Yeah. Have you all done it? You need to click on here. Here there will be something called connect, and once you do that, it will show up like this: RAM, disk, basically a green check mark. Yeah, so Dr. Rashim, Dr. Zoha, Dr. Smita, Dr. Aisha, Faraz. I guess we can proceed to the next one. Nobody is stuck, I believe. So let's move to the one. So now once you are done this, right, you will see this. Now you can come back to my screen and you can see that here there is a check mark here. Now it is working. Okay. So if this green check mark isn't there, that means it is not connected and nothing works here, so you should be always check this, so and after some time, right, if you don't do any activity for five, maybe like an maybe 15-20 minutes or half an hour, this will go back to unconnected state, and I'll tell you what happens when that happens. But nevertheless, let's start with our first thing. Okay, so for programming, mainly we need something called string. We need something like numbers. We need something like conditional statements. We need things like lists, loops, functions, pandas. Okay, so now don't get uh, by boggled by any of these. All of this you will learn, and these are all, once you learn it, you will see that it was quite a simple thing to do. So so I'll just, then you just create a new line. By, you don't do anything, for this. You just create a new code line below, right? So you can create any number of code lines, so it doesn't matter. So you can do that as many as you like, but each one will run whatever statement you write in it, so let's start with the string one. Okay, so what is a string? String and numbers are very important concept, so I'll switch to my whiteboard. So I'll just explain to you what it is. I'll stop sharing, I'll share it from the other one. um, Faraz, I suppose we are recording this, right? Okay, cool. Is that a yes? Okay, cool. Okay, so okay, okay. So you can see all the whiteboard on your screens. So I'll start with string and numbers. Okay. So string is nothing but anything that is not a number. So usually they will be words or anything that is not a number. For example, Pluto is a string. Okay. And 23 is a number. So we know all this, right? Like it's basic, but the terminologies for programming is this, right? So for Pluto, we call it as a string. For 23, we call it a number, right? Now you can notice that I have put Pluto under this inverted commas, right? It can be single or double, doesn't matter, right? So, and for number, I have kept it as it is, right? So how does your computer understand what is a string and what is a number? Is anything that comes under these inverted thing here, it will consider it as a string. Okay, and whatever is not like that, then it will consider it as a number. And it is a computer, so it's not like a human, so you have to be explicit. You can't, if you write like this, it will confuse it as a string. It will not treat it as a number. And if you write this Pluto as just Pluto and add something to it like plus 23, it will throw an error. It can't. So, but I'll tell you how to use all this. Okay. So this is the basic of string. So anything that is not a number is a string, and it comes under inverted commas. It can be single, like maybe like a ball. So it can be a single inverted comma like this, or double, whatever. Okay. And you should be mindful of these things, spaces and all here, right? Like here there is a space between this. Spaces and all, computer will read it as a new name. For example, B space ALL will be different from BALL. It will be different from BALL space here, right? So all of these you should be very careful. So computer is like that lakir ka fakir. So it will only do what you tell it. It can't. So AI has come for that only, because AI understands what you are trying to say. Okay. So which was a major problem till now. Computer couldn't understand what we want. So it will only understand what we write. But now with AI, it is able to do even understand what we are trying to say. But for all basic programming purposes, you have to consider computer as a dumb thing, and you have to be explicit. So this is about string. So string will be in inverted commas, and numbers would be 35, 42, something. As soon as you put it under strings, it becomes a inverted commas, it becomes a string. So if you want to add something like 2 plus 3, right, then it will do it. You just enter it, it will do 5. It will give you an output as 5. But if you give something like 2 plus 3, it can't. Or if you already assign some value, for example, if you assign, say, tree, for example, tree is a word, you assign a value, tree is equal to 21, for instance, right? Then you can do 2 plus tree. It will execute and it will give you 23. So these are some of the basics that we have to, like, as you do it, you will get it ingrained in your mind. And then, because many times when you write long programs, after writing a lot of program, suddenly I get an error, and then I have to find out like where. And then usually it is one of these errors, small error somewhere, the inverted comma, or some space that must have crept in and all that. So I'll just show you how does this work, and then we can all try our hands at it. Okay. So don't bother writing all this on your thing. And even if you do, doesn't matter, because as long as you don't run this, right, then it doesn't execute. So this, you have to click on this run cell, right? Or you can do control enter, one of those two, whichever is your.
We cannot see the screen.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Because I was sharing the other one. Okay, I'll just stop sharing from this.
You can directly share. Don't need to unshare.
Okay, cool. Okay, I believe you can see my screen now. Can you see my collab notebook? Somebody can confirm?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So yeah, as I was saying, you don't need to write all this. Okay. So usually there is a ceremony. So whenever we write the first code, right? In coding practice, we call it hello world. Okay. So your first code, as in, like, the programming community, now that you're all welcome to it, programming community, your first code will be hello world. Okay. So um I'll just, like, there is a function called print. Okay. When you tell it to print something, it will print. So I would want all of you to print this after you see me do this. Okay, just write print, print, then put brackets, right? Brackets like this, and then write a string. And now you know the string has to come under inverted commas. So you first put inverted commas like this, and then write hello world. So you are officially into, and then you click on this arrow that is a run, and it will print you hello world. Okay, so I want to see it on all of your screens. Can you quickly maybe you can, or you can just confirm me in the comment box if you have actually done this, because this is your entry into programming world. So can you do this? Just type print, then brackets, and then inverted commas, write hello world within that, and then run that cell. And if anybody has any trouble doing that, okay, Dr. Rashim has done it. Dr. Ash has also done it. Take your time. So
Use comment box from the tab rather than coming back here. So you can keep that collab page on.
okay, yeah. So maybe Faraz, you can confirm to me, like whoever is done. Just write print, brackets, inverted commas, hello world. Okay. One more. Aisha Zoha is done. I think we are waiting for Dr. Smita. Let us know when you're done. Or if you're finding any difficulty. Dr. Mateen, if you are finding any difficulty. Okay, I'll show it once more.
Done, sir.
Okay, cool. So, Dr. Mateen, I'll just show it for you once more. Are you, first of all, able to enter into
Yeah,
the...
Mateen done as well. He confirmed it.
Okay, cool, cool. So we are all done. Great. So it's your official entry into the programming community now. So let's see this. Okay. So we did this. Now this is a function. Okay. So print is a function. So whatever you tell it, it will do. So if you tell it print number, you can say 23. It does, and then you run it. It prints 23. But now I'll just come to the numbers part, right? Like we told you earlier. So if you do 4 plus 5, it becomes, let's do this, run this. It should show up as 9. Okay. And same thing you can do with string. Okay. So you can do, say, Tom plus Harry. You see, I'm writing strings under inverted commas. Okay. So once I run this, see, it has joined it without any spaces because we didn't give it any space. Now the same thing, if you do Tom plus some space, empty space I give here, like this much, right? Then Harry, okay, and then run it. So it has added that space also in between, and it has given a new string that is Tom space Harry, right? So can you quickly run these two cells? Just 4 plus 5, and you should see this output. And this one, these strings, can you add these strings? And once you're done, quickly tell me like you're done. So
Shahir, I have a doubt. Like in the first exercise, we added print first, no? Print hello world, something like that. And
mhm.
then after that, you are just adding 4 plus 5. So what's the need of writing print, and should we write the print at every time? And
No. This was actually just this is like a ceremonious thing. So I mean, I'll come to print thing. Okay. So this was like,
okay.
but it's like
No, even with the 23 also, you wrote print 23. So
yeah.
then the
I just wanted to show
okay,
you, like just like string, you can even print 23, right? But yeah, I mean, we'll come to print thing. So for now, all that is needed is like we just do this. You don't need print to get it here. You don't need it. I was just showing you how it works both for string and numbers, but
okay,
for basic programming, all you need is just you can type this and you can type this, and if you should be able to see these outputs. So by the way, were you able to run these two cells?
yeah.
Okay, and you are
You're
seeing that
asking.
output? Okay. Okay. Faraz, could you quickly see if others have confirmed it? Faraz?
I Yes, I am done. I think it's more useful if they can interact. Smita is done as well.
Okay. And who are we waiting for?
I think we have done. We are waiting for Aisha Zoha. She's also done. I think it's better that you guys speak, be unmute and speak rather than like continuously coming back.
Yeah. It will be probably faster, right? So, but yeah, I mean, we can all like, okay. So since you're all done, okay. So you can try some experiment like this now. So why computers are there in the first place is you can always do repetitive things. You know, repetitive things are automated by computers. So that's why computers exist, basically. So if you do something like, and this is a sign for multiplication. Okay, this is a sign for multiplication, the star. See here, we have this homeworks or punishments, right? Write something 10 times or 100 times, right? you I mean, you just tell the computer to do it, it will do it in a blink of an eye. you know so Uh, so you see, what did it do? It just multiplied the string and just added, 100 strings together. You know, you can do so. There are various operations that you can do, right? Both with strings as well as numbers. But you see, you can't do something like uh, so. Tom divided by, see, this is an error. Okay, so this was an exception, so they allow, and plus addition. Okay, addition is also allowed for strings, but division and all doesn't make sense, right? Like you can't divide Tom by 2, right? But you can do, I can, so I'm adding one more line here. By doing this, I can do something like 200 divided by 3 and run it. Okay, so you get 66, like this. So what we really do is something like this. How do we use it in programming? Is you assign values. Okay, you always use use something to store that value. For example, if I say a is equal to 25, okay, And here, whenever you click enter in this, okay, you come to the next line. Okay, so always one instruction should be in one line. Okay, so this you have to be very careful. You know, one instruction will be in one line. So if A is equal to 25 is in one line, then B is equal to 5 will be in the next line. Okay, and then you run this. Okay, so what it has done is it has stored the value of A and B as 25 and 5 respectively. So I'll just show you what happens. So once you do, next time you don't need to do 25 and 5. Okay, you just say A plus B and run it. See, it's 30 because it remembers this value. Okay, A is equal to 25, B is equal to 5. You know, so can you guys do these two cells quickly and see if you are getting the same results? And maybe just orally confirm if you're done, maybe. And if anyone is not done, please stop me there, so we all move together in one boat. So by the end we all learn everything that we signed up for. Any confirmations?
Done, sir.
Oh, so Dr. Smita, was it?
Yes, sir. It's done.
Okay, cool. Anyone else?
Done, sir.
Okay.
Done, sir.
Okay. Dr. Rashim, Dr.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Faraz, we are ready to move on.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So now you make some additional lines. Okay, makes these additional lines. So I suppose everyone did like this. A is equal to 25 in one line. Then you clicked enter. You came to B, and then you put it value like this, and then A plus B. Now again, I change the value of A now. Okay, I change the value of A to say 10. Okay, and assign this until you run this cell, it is not assigned. Okay, I do this. A is equal to 10. Okay, now A has taken a new value. This is 10. Okay, now if you go back to the previous cell and run it again, let's see what happens. So now A plus B is 15. Okay, because we assigned the value of A here as 25, B as 5. We did it here, it was coming 30. Okay, in this cell we assigned the value of A is equal to 10. Now it has forgotten that A is 25. It only knows A is equal to 10 now. And when you do this, run this cell again, it's going to give this value. So this is important. Okay, computer only understands what you tell it. Okay, in this cell we told that A is equal to 10. Then it has forgotten everything, and now it knows that A is equal to 10. And when you do this, it becomes 15, right? So okay, quickly, you guys can repeat this experiment. Can you give a new cell just A is equal to 10 and then go back to the previous cell and run it and see different results and quickly confirm it?
Done, sir.
Okay.
Done, sir.
Okay. Is there anyone remaining? Please feel free to. Yeah. Okay. So everyone is getting different result, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So we did this A is equal to 10 and we find this. Now, how do we circumvent this problem, right? This is a problem that keeps coming. Okay. So what do we do is we attach some number A1, right? So A1 is not equal to 1 or something. Okay. A1 is just a string, is just a name for a variable. You can make it A1 or AK, right? You can use anything basically, but this variable should never start with something like one or like that. Okay, it should always start with some alphabet, right? So it can be BK, right? BK is equal to 25, or better still, right? Usually it will be some common thing. So you can say, right, A1 is 25. So you do this, run the cell. Now it knows that A1 is 25 and A is, you can name it as A2, right? And do this. Now you have to change something. So it will be, if you want to do the first experiment, then it will be A1 plus B. And if you run it, it will be 30. And if you do A2 plus B, it will be 15, right? This is how you should separate. So you should not use common variables for storing different values, right? So this is very important to understand. So I would allow you some time to, go and change that A1, A to A1, and the second A to A2, and run those cells and do this A1 plus B and A2 plus B. And once you're done, so please confirm.
Done.
Done, sir.
Anyone?
It's done.
Okay, cool. I can see that you guys are picking speed, right? That's very encouraging, right? So so you see, we understand now how the variables take place, right? For numbers. So it was very easy for numbers, okay? Now same thing we can apply for strings also, okay? And you will need this a lot, right? I'll tell you where it is needed, So we can do the same for strings. So suppose you want to do like A3 is equal to welcome. Okay. And I click enter. You can do in different cells or you can do in different lines. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay. All of this I could have done in different lines also. It would have worked. I'll just show you in different lines now. A3 is welcome. A4 is to AI, for instance, right? So these are strings, okay? So I have put it in inverted commas. So always remember this. I'll be repeating it till it gets into your subconscious mind. So bear with me on that. So once we run this cell, right? Now we know the value of A3 is welcome and value of A4 is to AI. I think there is some echo coming from some place. Okay. Um, is there an echo or is only me who can hear it?
There is echo slight.
I wonder.
Increase the volume of the tab.
Yeah, I did, right? I mean, I didn't change anything after that.
No, it's fine now.
Okay, cool. I guess if two people are sitting in proximity, right, then also it can happen. So two laptops are like very close by. So anyways, so we do this. So we know A3 is welcome and A4 is to AI, right? Now what I can do is I can do this A5 is equal to A3 plus A4. Okay. I do this, nothing will happen. You see, right? The cell ran. You can see the checkbox here. So what did the computer do? It just added A3 and A4 together, right? It did it and it assigned it to A5. Okay. But I can't see A5 because I didn't ask to see it. Okay. So what I can do is I can do this A5 here and run it. See, it happened, right? I left it deliberately, right? Because to give you an importance of this spacing. Okay, so when you add it together, you see here it didn't give any space because we didn't give it any space, right? So computer will only do what we tell it. So if you give space to it and then you do this, then again if you do this, nothing, this, it will come same. Okay, welcome to AI, because you did not add it, right? It still remembers the old A5, which was without any space. So you run this, then come to AI. See here, it becomes welcome to AI, right? So, can you guys please do these three cells and confirm to me if you're able to run this? Wow, it was super fast.
Done, sir.
Cool.
Shahir, I have one doubt. Like,
Yeah.
you are confining a thing like AE is equal to welcome. Then, is there any difference? Like, you put a space before, before the inverted commas.
Here, right?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter. So that's a good
Okay.
question. That's a great question. So you ask everything because you know, because you ask everything that you don't get, because I totally understand. I am a doctor, so I have gone through 15 years of post graduation and all that. So I mean, it is not natural for us to understand how this programming things and all works. But once you start getting it, then it is nothing like it. So I will, I'll run this cell again and do this, right, and do this. See, it didn't change anything because it only considers A3 is equal to whatever is in this inverted thing. So it doesn't matter what space we leave here or anything. It just knows that A3 is this, A4 is this. Once you add it together, you're going to get this.
Whatever is inside the inverted commas only they consider.
Yes, yes, yes. So it is like this binds to this binds to this. You add it, you just add these two strings like this, and we get A5 is welcome. Okay. So this is great till here. Okay. So what we have learned so far is we can add numbers like this. You can add strings like these. Then you can multiply strings. You can't divide, right? You can divide numbers. You know, you can assign values to numbers. You can add it, right? um, you can assign new values like this. And in fact, I think I'll just show you. We can add so suppose we have like G1 is equal to 10. I go into a new line here only directly. G2 is equal to 5, and then I write G1 G3 is equal to G1 plus G2, right? So what we did is something like this. Okay, we assigned G3 to something which is G1 plus G2. So computer will first see this line. It knows that G1 is 10. Next moves to next line. G2 is 5. Then comes to third line and sees that G3 is G1 plus G2. So it becomes 15. Then if we don't do anything, it will just finish off this thing like this. Okay, it will just do the addition and keep quiet, but you should ask for it. So you can ask for G3, then what it will do, it will print G3. Okay, here. But you can also do something like print here, right? You can just say print G3. That will also do. It's nothing different actually, right? It does the same thing, but print has like so many functions beyond this. So we don't use it to see this output. We use it to do some operations, like for example, you wanted to write like uh, I just write in inverted commas here, age of Tom keys, and then I give a space because space will not come by automatically. Is G3. Then I do this. You see, age of Tom is 15, right? So if you are a big company and you're doing a database management, then you have to print cards for so many people, for instance, ID cards and all. Then what you do is you go and fetch G3 and you go and fetch the name. I mean, that happens, like I didn't teach you that one yet. It's a very complicated one, but you basically just age of somebody is this, right? And it starts printing different cards. So you don't have to type every time that age is this, age is that, and all that. So computer does it for everyone. So quickly, can we do these two cells? Um, G1 is equal to 10, G2 is equal to 5, G3 is equal to G1 plus G2, and then you explicitly type G3. But it doesn't matter, even if you don't do G3 there, this line, last line, it will still store the value of G3 as it is. And then when you write print inverted commas, age of Tom is, and then give a comma and give G3, you will get this output. Can you try this and let me know? Oh, it's done, is it? Wow. Waiting for other confirmations, but take your time. I mean, we are now slightly getting into more depth.
Answer.
Wow.
Done, sir.
Cool. Is anyone left? Please feel free to stop me.
So here, when we type the print, we actually put a comma. Okay, can we just add like plus G3 without print?
Oh, without print? Yeah. You can do that.
But once it's a string and a number, can we add those together?
Yeah, let's run it. It gives a throws an error. So what it is saying is string and number can't be added, So that's why print comes here handy. So this string operations are a little complex, right? So you can multiply it, for instance, right? The same thing I could have done like this. Instead of this, you do this. See, it has, added it like 15 times like this. But the moment you do plus, it goes out of business, right? So programming is like this, okay? So whatever you do, you are going to find some error. It's very rare, like, I have coded reams and reams of things, but nothing works in the first instance, okay? Nothing works. So you have to like do something and then see and then find out, okay, where's the problem, and then you go and correct that problem. And that's how programming works. So trying out these experiments is like the way to learn. So if you do this again, now it'll work. Okay, you see again there is some problem. You know why? Because we kept plus here instead of comma. Okay, so these things will come up. Okay, this is not abnormal. This is the way programming is done. So even experienced programmers, they all run into these small dots, spaces, this, that. We come back and rectify it and get it moving. Once you get it working, then that's it. So you just need to get it right once, and then the program runs forever till you run the program. So I guess everybody was able to do this.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now let's get into something like conditionalities, right? Conditionalities. This is very, very important. This is why programming exists. Okay. So what do we do? Right? Why does programming exist is this, So suppose you are a company that is you are a company that is into selling air conditioners, right? Then it's something like this. If temperature goes over 50, then business is good. Does that make sense? 50 degrees Celsius. Are you guys getting this? Or I will probably
Yeah, continue then. We'll see.
yeah. So what it does is, like, if you are into this business, then you need to be continuously monitoring temperature. Okay. So the day temperature, so you get temperature from somewhere. Okay. You get temperature data from your local weather station, and as soon as that person sends you data, right, it will check whether it is over 50, and if it is 50, then it will alert the business owner, right? Or or if you are looking at procal, so your procal goes over, say, 0.5, then alert clinician. Okay. So something like this, it can be anything. Okay. So this is called if then statement. Okay. So what happens is, the beauty of the computers is it will keep looking for this procal, right? It will go to 100 patients you have in your hospital, and it will get this procal value, right? And then, if whenever it exceeds zero point 0.5, it will alert the clinician. Okay. So now, as a human, you have to see all EMR charts of all patients or something, but you can make computer do the job for you, if that's your job, right? If that's your job, there can be any number of jobs you can do. But this is more or less most important thing that we will want to be doing with computers. That is, whenever certain condition is tripped or triggered, we want to do some action. Okay. Now I'll just show you an example here. I added a line here. So I give a procal is equal to 0.2, right? This is for some patient, say, let's say, um, this is for some patient. Procal is 0.2. I run it, I assign value. Okay. And alert clinician is something like, I'll write print, and I'll give inverted commas for this, like this. Okay. So what it does is, this if statement is that if procal is over 0.5, I have to give a semicolon always. Okay. And if you could notice this, that we started from something to the right of the original one. Okay. So if starts from here, we give some space and start it. So we don't need to even give space. Okay. It will automatically, if you just do an enter, it will automatically take it right. So what happens is, if procal is over 0.5, then print alert clinician. It can be anything. It can be a telegram message to anybody or whatever. So I'll just use the easiest one. So just say print alert clinician. I'll just check what happens. Okay. Nothing happened, right? Because your procal is 0.2. Okay. Now let's just make it one more here. So you move to the next patient now, and computer basically moves. You don't need to do anything. Next patient's procal is 2, right? I just assign a value to this. It is done. Now, see, it has printed. Okay. So this way you can rapidly screen your patients and find anything. It can be urea, it can be anything, or it can be multiple things, like, if procal is over 0.5 and WBC is over 10,000, and neutrophils are over 80, and so many combinations you can give, and then certain action you should give, then the computer will be able to do it 24/7, right? The computer will be on duty 24/7 without getting tired or anything. Okay. So what it happens, you see, Earlier, when we assigned a value of 0.2, it didn't trigger. So if procal goes over this, then semicolon print alert clinician, right? So this is a very simple exercise. I want you to do this. First assign a value of 0.2 and do this. You should find nothing here, then do this. Okay, and then see if it does the job. Okay, can you quickly do this and let me know?
Yes, sir. Done.
Wow.
That's it.
Cool. So when I guess it's Dr. Smita and Dr. Aisha, I guess. So did you people actually were able to see when when the procal was 2, it triggers our print, but when it is 0.2, it doesn't. Did you actually get that?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Okay, we have some.
Yes, sir.
I guess somebody. Okay, it was a. Okay. Um, anyone else still doing? We can certainly help you out.
Done.
Okay. Please stop me, like whoever is finding anything, because there's no point if we actually don't end up all learning it all together. So okay, so you saw this, right? And always remember, right? Whenever you're giving a if thing, it has to end with a semicolon. Okay, and then when you put it on the next tab, you can give any amount of space. It doesn't matter, right? As long as it doesn't start from the same line. For example, I'll just show you. If it starts on the same line, then it will throw an error. See, error, and it tells you actually what is the error. Okay, expected an indent block after if statement on line 1. Okay, so it is expecting an indentation here, so you just give a space here and do it. It does it. It does the job. Okay. Okay. So this is very important, and you can you can practice some more of all of these, like and always be mindful that this should be working. Okay, right? Now, if for some reason, right, some reason, what happens is, if for 1 hour or so, if you are not connected, then the runtime gets disconnected. You will find it disconnected here. Okay, then all of these variables will be lost. The value of procal or this or that or g1 g2, everything will be lost. Then again you have to assign values and then come back and do it here. Okay, so this is if then statement. I can also show you a little more complex query, right? So if so now we want to do two things. Okay, so we want to say that um, if procal is over zero point 0.5 and WBCs are over 10K. Okay, so let's do, in that case, we always give things in brackets. Okay, everything in brackets. So right, our third standard or fifth standard math, always brackets are opened first, division, multiplication, addition,
Good enough.
subtraction, right? Yeah. So so we keep it in brackets. Okay, so whatever we keep in brackets, they are like opened up first. Okay, so I give it in bracket. Okay, procal is over 0.5. Now you want to check two conditions. Okay, so and so this is the and thing here. Okay, this is and that shift plus 7. If you do this is and, if procal is over 0.5 and WBC is over 10,000, okay, Once you do print, enter, then it comes on the indented space. Print possible infection or bacterial infection. Actually. Okay. So let's see this. Okay, it won't work. Okay, I'll tell you why, and probably you guys can tell me why it won't work, or maybe uh, any guesses why this won't work now? Anyone can give a wild guess? Okay, never mind. So I'll still run it anyways. See, it doesn't work because we didn't define what is WBC, right? It doesn't know what this is. As I again say, computer is a dumb thing. You always have to teach it what it is. So I just add one more code, and this code can be here also. Okay, so don't think that I only have to do it before, but it is good practice to do it before here, right? So everything should be in series. Okay, but nevertheless, I'll show you here also. Like you can show WBC. You should assign some value. So currently WBC is say 9,000. Okay, I assign this value, so it doesn't print anything, right? But if I change it to 11,000, it goes to the next patient, right? And then it checks for it. Yeah, possible bacterial infection. Okay. So you see this and works like this. So this condition also had to be satisfied because we give this procal as 2, right? That's the latest value of procal. And if you want to see what is the value of procal, right, you can just write procal here and see it is 2, right? And if I click this, if it might make it 0.2, it becomes 0.2 here, and this won't be tripped, right? It didn't trip because this value was less than 0.5. Even though the value of WBC is 11,000, we put an AND query. Okay. Now, instead of an AND query, I will put an OR query. So you see what happens. So this is a OR query. Okay. You see it on your extreme right or below the delete button. Below the delete button, you will see one like this. You have to print shift and do that, or just it's a straight line like this. This means an OR, and this is so is common English usage. So this is an AND, right? So what happened here is when it found out that WBC is over 10,000, even though procal is like 0.2, it doesn't matter because we said either this trips or this trips, right? It should print bacterial infection, right? Can you people do it? And can you just do these two cells and inform me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So did you?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So yeah. Anyone having difficulty? Is everyone able to run those?
I'm getting an error, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe I'll just stop presenting here. Maybe you can just show your screen, because a
Actually,
lot.
I'm doing it in a other device, not from the device which I have
Okay, no worries.
joined.
What error are you getting?
I'm getting it in the step print alert permission. I added everything, but it's showing an error.
Yeah, so they would give something below that, like, what's the error? Something.
Indentation error.
Yeah. So maybe, did you give this indentation here, like, the space between
Yeah,
the first line? Is there a semicolon here, like this?
yes, sir, it's there.
There is an and.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't put space. I got it, sir.
Yeah, this space, right? Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is like very common thing. This is like so this we have to, like, when we make errors, that's the time we actually learn the importance of these things. So feel free to point out the errors, because this error we are going to do one day or another, again and again, right? So we should know it while
And
we are. Yeah.
I'm getting it in the next step also after WBC, print possible bacterial infection. There I added space now, but it's not showing error. It's
You're not showing
syntax
error,
error.
but it's showing syntax error, is it?
Yeah.
So did you actually give this line? Is it straight line, this one, or is it like a slant?
No.
It would be better just
I,
get the screenshot or get a photo and share. Then everyone can learn about what the error is,
yeah.
if it
Okay.
is
I'll do
possible.
it.
Dr. Aisha.
Yeah. Okay. 2 minutes.
Okay, no worries. Because she's doing it from another device, I guess. So, never mind. So, but did you actually get this straight line up like this?
No, I didn't. I didn't saw that.
Yeah.
I'm putting it now.
Yeah. Right. So you saw, right? Like, for everyone else, they're saying, like, this is an and sign, and this is an or sign, right? So I mean, this should be very clear. These are like most commonly used signs. So I am teaching only the most common ones. Okay, I'm not taking you through all the possible things that can come in. If, then, blah 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 blah, like that. I'm just taking you through the most common things. So you only learn the most important things. Rest all you can pick up as do practice. So this and straight sign. So Dr. Aisha, did you get it? That straight line thing now? Is it working?
Yes. Yeah. I got. Thank you.
Okay, great. So when there is a straight line like this, right? It will see if this condition is true or this condition is true. Only you need one of these conditions to trip this. Okay. When you put an and, I'm just repeating again, you need both conditions to be true. This is very important, because everywhere this will make or break the whole thing. So if we are doing, yeah, is that question?
Shwan, can you explain and or true false table from the tab, so that because everyone might not be from the mathematical background, so how we do it is like true or false, we make a table for or if both are true, then it becomes true. If one is true, other is false, it's false. So can you do that on the tab?
Yeah. But I believe, like, it is quite clear. But yeah, I mean, that brings us to another concept of true false. But I mean, we don't necessarily need it, but I'll just show you, like, what is this true false thing. Okay, so when we assign a value, say t1 is equal to 3, right? Then if we say t1 is more than 5. No, obviously this is not true, right? Because we assigned a value of t1, it will show you as false. Okay, so same thing happens here, right? When procal is more than 0.5, it will see that it is true or false. Okay, so for and, we need both to be true. I mean, this is like intuition, really. I mean, you don't need probably a very, academic kind of a table, but I guess it should be easy to understand that, both these conditions should be satisfied to trip over this statement, and either one of these statements, or the meaning is or, one of these should uh, you know give it. So I don't want to make it very mathematical, as in that I think it is intuitively very clear that, when one of this is true, any one of this is true, this trips that. So I'll come to, maybe the more rigorous mathematical in probably in advanced courses, but here I'll introduce you one more thing. Okay, that is if then, if else. Okay, now till now you saw this. Okay, if this happens, then print this. Okay, so many times what happens is you also want to put up something like this. Okay, that if this doesn't happen, then what? Right? So you just put an else statement like this, gain semicolon, and then do whatever you want to do here. Okay, so what I'm saying is, when Procal is over zero point 0.5, WBC is over 10K, when both of these is true, then print this one. But if one of this is not true, right? If one of this is not true, then this, it comes to this line, and then it sees, okay, what should I do now? It will say can't say, because we can't say whether there is an infection or not. Okay, can't say if there is a bacterial infection. Okay, so let's see. So what happened is, see, what is the value of Procal? Let's see what is the value of Procal. Okay, it's 0.2. So obviously this condition did not satisfy, right? And for and, one of the condition doesn't satisfy, that's it. We don't even need to, but still we will see what is the value of WBC. Right? Okay, it's 11K, right? So it satisfies, but it doesn't matter, because you're saying that both should be more than that value, then only do this, else you say this. Right, now else could do something else. Right, else you can say that, something. I'll just copy this, the same as Control C, right, or Command C, whichever you're working on. So instead of print this, I actually want to do something else. I'll say um, CRP is over, say, 5. Let's see this. You have to give the value of CRP. Let's see what happens. Yeah. So did you get this step? So what happened? I'll just explain to you. Okay. What did we do here? So we first checked for value of Procal and value of WBC, right? And since one of this is not completing the condition, so it can't go to this line, right? It can't go here. Okay. So it will come to the next line where you are saying else, right? If CRP is over 5, right? Just check the other thing. And then, you're saying maybe you want to check, you want to keep watch on this patient, right? Check back in few days or few hours or few other signs, etc., whatever you want to do, right? So let's not get into this so much. I just giving you an example because it will be too much of a thing for today, for one day. But are you getting the general idea of why we are using indentations, right? So here there is an if, right? Then you want to again give an indentation after if, right? If this indentation makes sure that if this condition is satisfied, only then it goes to this line, otherwise it will pass down. So would you want to try this exercise, or is it too much?
We can try.
Yeah, try
The
it.
Shaira, I want to ask you, like, if we are trying for a conditional thing, so first there is if, and then in the third line we are put we have put an else, and then why have we put the next if in the next line? Why can't we just write in the same line itself?
Yeah, we can do it, right? Like, because all it does is it will not go to this line. Okay, I'll just put it. I just wanted to. I'll do Control Z, right? I'll put it in a new one. It will go to the next line as it is without any trouble. So it's just to show how else works. But if you remove this, right, you should still not have a problem. I mean, so in this case, right, if you do this, there will be a problem because this indentation is not. I mean, it depends on how what is the code that you want to do. Here also it will work, right? Because what it does is, right, you just need to do like this, right? If this is not satisfied, it will not go to this line at all. Okay, it will come back to this line. This line is empty. Then it will come back to this line. This line has a CRP of over 5, and then it will print check again, right? I'll just show you. It'll work, so basically this step is not needed for this, but this is to understand how else works, right? Like else thing you can use, but usually there is something called elif. That's another function, but I'll take it over like when we are little clear with the indentations and these line readings and all that. Then we'll come to that. There's an easier way to write this. Like there's something called elif, ELIF, which combines else and if, and then we should be able to do this function directly in one line. Somebody has posted something. Yeah, Razi.
Shahid, I have a doubt. Just come back on
Okay.
screen. So if you remove else, right, you take if and you start with a new line, correct?
Yeah.
This one, yes. Okay. If procal is greater than 0.5, which is true, right? Okay. And it also, like, first condition, the conditions of if are right, then also if CRP is greater than 5 is right. Okay. What will happen if you don't for this command?
Nothing. So what it does is like a computer starts reading it line by line. Okay. So suppose procal is over 0.5 and WBC is over 10,000. It'll go and print this. Okay. And then it'll come back and it'll read this line and it'll see CRP is over 5. It'll do this check again. That's why we need this else thing. So what happens is if this else is there, then it will not read this. If it is here, it's done. For example, I'll just change the procal value to over 0.5. 5.
So then, okay. If there is no else, then the computer will print both the things: possible
Yeah,
bacterial
yeah,
infection and check again.
yeah. So here, see, it did only one thing. Okay. But if you do this, then it will go and print both, right? So that's why we need this else thing there. But this is to illustrate majorly how computer reads line by line. So I think both of you have asked excellent questions. and it has led to some better understanding, I suppose, on how computer reads it, because till it gets into our subconscious mind, we will be struggling with this. So these are we can go on and learn a few things, and then we'll do a quick revision, right? Before we want, I mean, then we can take some doubts and stuff like that. So we'll do something called list. List is very important. Okay, so the name is very explanatory, you know. So when we mean a list, it means a list of things. Okay, so I'll show you. So how do we suppose, Karo, right? You have 10 patients, or you have 3 patients in your ICU. Okay, I want to, you have to put it in a list. So I will name the list as something like patients. Patients is equal to, list always begins with a square bracket, like these are all conventions, right? And then inverted commas, because patients names are strings, right? They are not numbers. Okay, so maybe Ram, Shiv, Mohan, right? Suppose we have 3 patients in our ICU. I run this. Okay, now you see this, that the thing about list is in square brackets. Okay, and list can be anything, list of names, list of numbers. Okay, or maybe I'll just put another list with their patient numbers. Okay, like patient identification numbers, like PIDs, is equal to, say, these are patients on bed 23, 25, 29. Okay, right? So I give a list like this. Okay, I'll tell you how useful it is. Okay, you will be surprised to see why it exists. So to delete a cell here, right, you can just go here, you can click on this one, we don't need this. So just put the dustbin mark, put a dustbin thing here, it'll go. Okay, now once you do this patients list, PIDs list, right, now when you do patients, you call this list again, right? Let's see what it does. It gave us this list, right? So, and if you do it for PIDs, it'll get this list. Okay, now the importance of this is like this. Okay, so when I was doing my juniors actually was doing her thesis, she wanted bronchoscopy, we do that, reports, biopsy reports for all patients who had gone. So she got me these PIDs basically for their identification numbers and all that. So what we do is we make a list always, and then we go pick up one by one. Okay. For example, this is, I'm introducing you to something called loop functions. Like this is like another thing for which computers are built, because it goes one by one. So for okay, for patient in, so this list we call as patients, right? Patients, again semicolon, right? Indentation, print patient. I want you to concentrate here, right? Here it is patient. Okay, it's not a plural. Okay, this list is patients. Okay, now we could have made it anything else, right? It just doesn't matter. I'll show you. Okay, so when you do this, you see it pasted this names of these patients. Okay, now what I can do is I can say now the new value of patient is equal to patient plus is ready to be discharged. Okay, now let's see what happens. See, Ram is ready to be discharged, Shiv is ready to be discharged, Mohan is ready to be discharged. You are understanding? We can combine this with if and then statements, and then we basically have a program that tells you when a patient is ready to be discharged. It alerts the people, or you can do anything. Basically, list will allow you to query these things independently and come up with. So what is happening here is I have picked up patient in patients, and then for now patient in the first line will be Ram. Okay, this will be the first patient, right? Then I am saying this value of patient is actually Ram plus is ready to be discharged, and then I'm saying print patient, right? So it printed these things. Okay, we are assigning new value to these. Okay, so any questions here, and then otherwise we can begin with this exercise, the list and loop. Okay, so this for, right, this is very important. Okay, so for a patient in patients, right? So this is the name of a list. This is anything. Okay, we can keep it. I'll just show you as an example. I'll start a new code. So this patient, I can, instead of patient, I can say
Shahid, let
yeah,
me ask you one thing, okay?
yeah,
Like for in the first code, what we have written is we have written patient is equal to patient plus is ready to be discharged. So the same word is being used in the both sides of the is equal to.
yeah.
So and still the computer doesn't understand that. Like so, I am confused in that.
Okay, good one. So, we could have done something like, so I guess, I can make it simpler. So, we can say patient one, right? And then I write patient one here. Okay. So, you see here. So, what it did is,
It will confuse further. You can change patient from patient one to discharge summary or something. You can name it a new thing.
yeah, I mean, Rashim, you see here, we have a new variable, okay, which is patient one. Okay, which is not the same as patient. Okay, but what we are saying is patient 1 is equal to patient who is Ram here, first one, plus this thing. Okay, and then I'm asking for patient 1. Okay, but if I do this as patient only, then as you can expect, it will not add this. Okay, it will just print the names as it is: Ram, Shiv, Mohan. Okay,
Okay,
because
okay. So since we have introduced a new code, like we have introduced a new order, then the computer forgets the older one and tries to recollect the new one. Okay, I got that.
perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. So you see this, so what happened is I think I should have started with this, right? I mean, this is easier to understand, right? But you get the point, right? Like, yeah. So as you said, the same thing, when you add this and this, right? It takes a new value now, right? And then it takes up like that. So you can keep it like this, and then you can keep it like this, and you will see this. I'll just have another one where it is just patient so that you understand the difference between the two, right? Instead of patient 1, it should be just patient. So what would happen is it will just take the patient as it is. It doesn't matter what we did in this line because we are not using it anywhere. We are still printing patient who is still Ram there, right? It's not patient 1. You do patient 1 here, you have this full string that comes in. Okay. So this is going to be a little tough exercise, but can you people do it? Give it a try.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, done.
Wow, this is super fast. Cool. But take your time. Anyone is stuck, I'll be most happy. Take you through because this is a hands-on course, and that's why we call it hands-on. That is, we should be able to, do this fine nitty-gritty and get everyone on board. Is everyone? But take your time. I mean, I don't want you to rush. Nothing. Let me know when you're done.
Yes, done.
Okay. Cool. So, yeah, I guess we have had quite a bit today, and I'm quite surprised at the speed at which you people have picked up. As if I can't believe that you guys were not into programming before. But I would like that you you try some more variations of these till you till you get the hang of it. And next class we will get started with the data one, where we'll directly pick the data, right? And start how do we manipulate the data, how do we get the summary stats and all in one line quickly, and all that. And how do we pick up one patient at a time. Like, we'll use all the learnings that we had today to. So I'll just take a small revision. So we started with this print hello world, right? So basically numbers are written as it is, right? Strings we have to always write in inverted commas, right? And um, you can do divisions, you can do multiplications, all that. And how do we store values is a plus b. So a2, whenever you change something, it takes over that one. You can add strings also, like a3 is equal to welcome and a4 is equal to this thing. We add those two, we will get something like this. And you can print something like print a string, whatever it is, comma, whatever it is. It can be another string or it can be another number, whatever it is, right? And then we came to if procal or any variable basically is over something or under something or equal to something, right? Then you have to give a semicolon and then indentation here and a print thing. And you can give multiple conditions, in which case you have to use the brackets like how I have used. And then you have to decide, right, whether it is and or depending on that, right? And then you do this. And then I showed you, like, if you want to build it something like, if this doesn't go through, then do this. That you can do here, like, but every time you have to give a value. Then these are the list always starts with square brackets, right? And it can be a list of numbers, it can be a list of names, right? Oh, I think one thing I wanted to show you guys was this. Okay, so it need not be patient here, right? Why did I write patient here? We have a list called patients. It can be a list called flowers. Okay, It doesn't need to be a flower here. Okay, it's easy for understanders also. If for example, instead of patient, I kept it as P, right, and did something like P. So say this is P1, P1, right? It will still do the job. So what did it do? So I'm just using it as an excuse, okay? P or patient or whatever it is, okay? So for P in patient, so what does P in patient mean? P is like one of these. This. Since the order is in Ram, Shiv, and Mohan, for the first time, it goes and picks up P. The first P is here Ram, okay? And then it takes new value P1 is equal to P, which is Ram, plus is ready to be discharged, then print P1, right? And then you get the first line here. Then this is a loop function. So for is a loop function. So then it goes to the next patient in this list. It goes to Shiv, picks up P is Shiv here now. So P1 will be Shiv plus is ready to be discharged and print P1. It is Shiv, right? And then it goes to the next patient in the list, Mohan, and it goes picks up Mohan, then it adds Mohan plus this string, and then they do this. So one thing to note here is, right? So see, P is a string, okay? P is Ram or Shiv or Mohan, okay? But we are not writing it in inverted commas, right? Because we have assigned a variable to it already, right? When you don't assign a variable and you want to write a string, you need an inverted comma like this, okay? That's why even though P is Ram here the first time, it doesn't need to be in string. It doesn't need a lot. It can't be in string. So basically you assigned a value. You call P as a string because it becomes P is equal to inverted commas. It will pick up inverted commas from here already, okay? So we have already given it inverted commas. So any doubts or anything so far, or okay? So calculator in, yeah, yeah, Aisha, what's it?
Uh, if only Ram is going to be discharged, then how should we quote, sir? Not Shiv and Mohan, or only one patient?
Okay, cool. That's a good question. Like, the good question brings out the good things in us, right? So you see this. Sorry. Okay. You write patients, right? It'll give you this. Okay. Now, when I write patients, this is the name of a list. I want to select only the first element. Okay. So in Python, the index starts from 0. Okay, we usually roll numbers in our school and everywhere we start with 1, right? 1, 2, 3 to 30 or 40, whatever it is. But in Python, the roll numbers start from 0. So Ram is considered 0, Shiv is considered 1, Mohan is considered 2. Okay, so when I call out in square brackets after patients, I just call out 0, right? You see it picks up Ram. Okay, or if I call out Shiv, I mean basically 1, then it calls gets Shiv. Okay, now what I can do is when I get here, I can just write 0, right? That's the 0th index. So you will see, oh, so you know what it did? So it actually considers each alphabet in it as a separate one. So let's try out. See, So basically we have to see. I'll tell you what we did. Okay. So there are two ways, okay, of getting this first guy. Okay. One was patients. You just give the index number. Okay. So what it did was when we wrote this, it became RAM separately, right? So what it did was it figured this out. Then from this object, it took one element at a time when we ran this. Okay. And that's why when I do, where did it go? Yeah, so that's why when I do this, it will become RAM. So basically what's happening is this patient 0 is RAM, right? In RAM, there are 3 alphabets. Okay. So each time it is going into P in 1, P in 2, this P in third one, right? RAM. So we have another way of cutting the list. Okay. The other way is this semicolon thing. Okay. So this semicolon is very important to understand. Just remember this, right? So when I write till 1, right, it only picks up the first one but not including the index one. So it will take this but not including this. Okay. So when I put it like 2 here, so 2 is what? 2 is Mohan actually. If you know in computer language, it will be 0, 1, 2. So Mohan is 2, but it will not include Mohan. Okay. So it will include till before that, and which is Shiv. So if you do this, you see Ram and Shiv. Okay. So this is a, so if you want to pick up Ram only, then you give 1. So it just picks up one person in that list, right, which is the 0th person, and prints is ready to be discharged, right? And if you want to pick up the last person, right, or the next 2 people, then you can say, like from 1 but not 2, like Shiv is ready to be discharged. And if I say 2, then you should leave it empty, because basically you do whatever till, like, you have only one guy in that list, so it will be 2, but there is no 3 or anything, so it doesn't matter, right? So this is little bit, I'm sure this is going to take a little time to digest, so we can take some time here. So but it was a good question. Expecting more questions. So this is called slicing of the list, and it is very important. So maybe you can do this exercise. I'll give you, like, you know, uh, you take this, you type, make this list, and get patients in 2 ways. Okay. So it will be patient 1 who will be Shiv. So see, when I write patient 1, right, what happened here? Okay. So there is nothing like patient. Okay. We don't have a list called patient. This patient is picking up from here, from one of these programs where we gave the value of patient as somebody, right? Here we gave it as Ram. Then inside that, it is now picking up the index number 1. So in Ram, the index number 1 is A, right? So you should be careful with these things. So you should do patients here. This is a list of patients we have. Here we'll get Shiv, because Shiv is our index number 1. Index number 0 is Ram. Index number 2 is Mohan. So if you do this, you will get Shiv. But other way to get Shiv is patients, and then you say it has to be 2 but not 3. Sorry, 2 not 3 will be Shiv Mohan, because 0 1 2 2 but not 3 is Mohan. Okay, now I can expand the list a little. So let's say we have Abdul and John, right? And now if I write 2 2 4 but not 4, okay, so what it should print is, this is 0 1 2, so it will print 2 3 but not 4. Okay, so let's see, that's what it does. Okay, so this is called slicing. Now I want you to make a list of patients, right? And then, try out different, indexes. If you do patients 0, index 0 should come as Ram. If patient index number 1 patients, it should come Shiv, and stuff like that. And then you slice it this way. Okay, you want 2 3 but not 4. Okay, like this, it should come like this. So can you do this exercise and confirm to me if you're getting it right?
Yes, sir, putting it.
Cool, that's great.
Done, sir.
Cool, waiting for more confirmations.
Yes, done, sure.
Cool. So how about, is anyone left? I mean, we can help you out if there's any trouble. So is everyone done? Did I, so Aisha, Zoha, you done?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So yeah, so I guess this is quite a bit to chew on, for today. We can get into advanced things as we progress through the course. But yeah, I mean, if there is any any doubts, or anything, we would be most happy to explain and take you over this. But I would really request that you should, you should do these exercises again when you get some time. And this will be saved, all these changes will be saved in your uh, this notebook, right? All you need to do is, if you don't find it green here, just click connect here, and then start doing this, and try playing with different things. And then if you run into some trouble, right, you can always go to chat gpt, right? And you can say whatever. So you somebody had this print, so whatever that error comes, right, just paste it there and just give it some context. Okay, Python code, uh, suggest solution to the following error. So when you do shift enter, you get into the next line here. So you can say the code, if procal is over 0.5, and infection, something like this. The above code is throwing an error. So you can say the error is something like um, indent, indentation error, something like this. Then it will only suggest you the solution. See? Okay. Oh, damn it. We lost the. Okay, never mind. So if you have an error like if procal is over 0.5, so you should always say shift and give an enter. So you should not accidentally, right? So you get to the next line, print infection error, indentation error. So it will actually understand whatever we are doing and it will suggest you where is the problem. So it has given you the correct. So like somebody had an error that indentation error was there, right? So you can just post the code there and say whatever error is throwing up in that cell, you just say it, it'll correct it for you and give you, and you can understand what the error was. Like, so you should try out doing these, running different things. And if you encounter errors, just give it to chat gpt, it'll get back to you with the right codes. And try practice these things. So in the next and all, like once we put on more gears, then you should be able to quickly uh, understand what we are doing. So happy to take up any questions or any comments or anything.
Shahid, does this all we have written, how to save all this?
It is
Is
already automatically saved. So if you see on top, there will be all
okay,
changes
fine.
saved. Yeah. But otherwise, you can just go to file, and then you can also click on save. So that option will also be there.
Okay, fine, fine. Okay, thanks a lot for the class. I have to leave now because
Sure. Sure.
due to
Please.
class visit. Okay,
Great.
thank you.
Yeah,
We'll meet in the next class.
sure.
Sir, I have one doubt.
Any
Like, what if we are getting disconnected while we are coding? Even then, we have to do it again. Just say the when you explain, like we have to connect, and it gives a green tick as RAM in this, like that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the cost we have to pay for getting a free environment like this. You know, so
Okay.
there is an option to circumvent that, but I don't know how many of you would be able to do it correctly. So for now, let's use this thing. So if it gets disconnected, right, it usually gets disconnected if you don't use it for an hour or something, right?
Okay.
Many times you just click reconnect. Here there will be an option called reconnect.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
reconnect that, many times these variables will you will get it back, but many times you don't. So
Okay.
consider that anytime this goes off, right, all these variables will be forgotten. So it will be like this. Okay. So if I were to
So,
manually disconnect it,
is it possible that while coding, we are going to file and saving at each cornerstone of whatever coding we are doing? Is it possible like that?
no, it automatically starts saving. Okay. See, I didn't save anything here. It was already all changes saved, whatever we type, you know.
Okay.
But you can always, oh, I am not sharing my screen. Maybe I'll just show you. Okay. So here all changes are saved, right? This one, but you can always go here and save it also. Just click save.
Okay.
Uh, So it's just like double. Sometimes you want to be more careful. Even if you save it, right, and if it gets disconnected, no, you have
Yeah.
to you have to run everything again.
Okay. Okay.
Disconnect it for now. So it'll give you that warning also that. So see, I disconnected right now. If I were to reconnect it again, it'll take some time, but just hold on for a few seconds. Okay, it's got connected. Now, if we were to, we know that, right? AI is welcome to AI, A5. So if I click this, it'll throw an error. See, AI is not defined, right? To do that,
Yeah.
we have to again go here and define A3, A4, then define what is A5, which is this. Then you type this, get it.
So even if it's saved, we have to again run the code. That's what
Yeah.
you're.
The code gets saved. Okay, here then there's changes, right? Only the code. The variables are all lost. So you have to assign again. So you have to do the
Okay.
exercise again.
If nobody has a doubt, I wanted to run a very simple exercise of creating a calculator using ChatGPT 3. It's just a plug and play. You don't have to necessarily understand the code. It's just that how we go about. Can you just show one example, Shahid?
So what do you mean by calculator?
Simple. That was the first program which we did. That create a calculator in Python. So in ChatGPT throws up the code, we just plug and play. We had to actually develop that code from the beginning and write all the loops. For them, it's easy, so that they can see how easy to create apps.
But I guess like that'll be um. So can you suggest a simple exercise, right? Like calculator is probably
I,
little.
I think you can calculator. I'm telling you, it's a good one.
Okay. So what's the query?
Create a calculator in Python.
Create a calculator in Python. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So if we give a query like this, okay. Yeah. So this will involve things like function and all this.
Just explain plug and play of the code. Don't explain the functions and everything.
Hey, I guess this will be, we will probably take it up in the next one, because it might just spin people around, and they're not able to
Sure, sure.
well, I just don't want to load them so much, because I know, coming from a medical background, that you don't do a lot of numbers, otherwise it's going to trip people off. So no worries, we can take it up next. And if there's
So we'll be sharing homeworks and everything on Monday, so that you can try out, and any errors which you face, you can drop the query on WhatsApp group, from where we'll pick it up. Is that fine, Dr. Smita?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I think it should be more interactive going further, Dr. Aisha, Smita, rather than we write down and everything. It should be always the mic is on, so that you can discuss it out.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
cool. Okay. So
And one suggestion going forward, we need to take a break after 1 hour. It's quite loaded for 2 hours straight. I can see even you're thirsty. It was quite a learning session, purely focused on the practical aspect than theoretical aspects, because I understand it took me at least 8 weeks till to reach the for loop or understand if else statement during my learning progress. And it was fun to see that you just picked it up in just 1.5 hours.
yeah. I totally understand the bandwidth and the wavelength of medicos, so it should not be difficult for me to get them to this. But and plus doctors are quick learners, by the way, so you won't find it very difficult. Anyways, so yeah, cool. There's nothing else, then we can probably close the call.
Thank you so much, sir. It was very nice class, and like you made it sound very simple. I know it won't be the same way in the coming classes. I think it's gonna be more difficult, but you made it very. It sounded very easy.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. And you people are fast learners too. I'm happy to see this progress. Let's keep this tempo up in the next class, and we go forward, you do the homeworks, and try out different things yourself, because you need to do it to keep, otherwise as starts getting this thing. But I'll make sure that we all move together forward, so don't worry about the next ones. Okay, take care. Thank you all. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Bye.
Hello, Shair Bhaiya.